went to the best high school in America, and I'm really proud of that, and everybody knows it. I went to Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. Whoop, go Gales. Everybody knows that going to Bishop Gorman High School is one of the great joys of my life. I'm proud of my alma mater. I go back to my high school reunions. I stay in touch with my friends. A lot of the people that I went to high school with, I've known since I was 5 years old. I went to Our Lady of Las Vegas Elementary School with them. And I love seeing them. And I'm proud of the values that I got from Bishop Gorman High School. It cost my parents a fortune to send me to private schools, and I thank them so much for that. My parents wanted their kids raised with a very strong religious foundation, and Bishop Gorman did that. Our Lady of Las Vegas did that. And my friends and all of us had that same foundation. We still carry that today. And that moral compass has really guided my life and my friends' life. And it shows when we're together. And I just think that there were a lot of things that my parents did wrong, but giving me that foundation was right. Because when you put a good foundation in somebody, it stays, and I'm proud of that. I graduated Metropolitan State University of Denver for college, and that's another one I'm really proud of because I put myself through college, as did a lot of people who went to MSU. The teachers there are spectacular. The students there are driven. When I went there, I was involved with Delta Phi Omega, which was a criminal justice club. I was student senator. I was involved in several government agencies, programs. I graduated with honors, criminal justice criminology department with my Bachelor of Science degree. I had a minor in history and a minor in computer science. I wanted to go to law school. I mean, that was my dream, is I wanted to go to law school. And that actually is going to lead me into what I want to talk about, because immediately after college, I got a job with EEOC, and I was hired under the Outstanding Scholars Program. And for people who are not familiar with the Outstanding Scholars Program, that was a program that was designed for the government to recruit the top students of the graduating classes. So that's my way of doing a flex and saying that I was a smarty. I was the top of my class, and I was recruited by the government, and because they wanted the smart kids. And I'm really proud of that. I mean, that was something that I got to brag about whenever anybody would listen. When I came into the government, they expected a lot out of me. Computers were just coming into the workforce, and with my minor in computer science, I was a find. And I remember when I first walked into EEOC, they had these 3 computers in the corner, and no one used them. And I remember walking in, kind of stunned, because I always had this thing in my head that the government was so, computers and technology and everything. And I walk in, and there's like carbon paper and typewriters. And I was kind of like, what? And they were so excited that I knew computers. And so I came with my floppy disk. And yes, kids, we had floppy disks. And I walked over, and they said, do you know how to use these? And I said, yeah, and I turned it on, and everybody kind of like steps back. The printer is like doing the, they were like, oh, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm going to show you how to use this. And they were like, no, the devil lives in there. And I was like, no, stop, and I started showing people how to use it. And some people were computer savvy, and they were really excited to have me there. And as people got used to using it, they really enjoyed it. That was how I started with EEOC. But my heart, I wanted to be a lawyer. And they knew that. I didn't go in there saying that I was going to be there forever. When I interviewed, I told them I would give them 3 years, but they knew I wanted to be a lawyer, and they were really excited about that. And they said, we have different locations. Maybe you can find an office where you can transfer to and you can work while you're in law school. And this was really great. This was just like a dream, because I was at EEOC, and this was the agency I thought I'd end up at, not the agency that I thought I'd begin at. So I was literally where I wanted to be. I mean, when I went to college and I sat down with my guidance counselor, I said, I want to be an EEOC investigator. What degree do I need? And they said, a criminal justice degree. Okay, that's what I'm going for. And so this was my dream. I was in my dream job. And so to think that I could go to law school and continue to work for EEOC, this was such a dream for me. Life was going good. And then I started applying to law schools and I got accepted. And then I started doing the financial package. And that's when reality hit. And it was jarring to find out that I couldn't afford law school. I mean, I could not afford law school. I was paying off my loans for my undergraduate. And by the way, I didn't have a lot of loans. I didn't have a lot of loans for my undergraduate. I was lucky because I was smart. So I was able to start getting scholarships and grants almost immediately. But I still had to take out some loans. So I was paying off some of my debt from school. And then to look at what the debt was to go to law school. And as I was getting accepted, I started contacting the financial aid offices. And I said, well, I want to talk to you about your scholarships. And they sort of laughed me out. I was like, no, but I'm really smart. And they're like, everybody's smart. This law school. Like, sorry. And I had to make some really tough decisions. And I started talking to some of the people at EEOC because these were some of the smartest people I knew. And I talked to our attorneys, our investigators, and they were pretty blunt with me about how much that law degree was going to be worth. And the truth was, if I wanted to stay at EEOC, that law degree wasn't worth a lot. I was not going to make my money back if I got it. And that was crushing because I didn't want the law degree for the money. I wanted the law degree because I wanted to be a lawyer. That was my dream, to be a lawyer. But I had to make a decision on the financial viability of it. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have, but the truth is, if it's not necessary, you have to really think about that purchase. Because this was going to be 3 years of my life, but I was also going to have close to $100,000 worth of debt. The law degree lost. That bugs me. That's always bugged me. Now, I know there's this big push that seems to be anti-education. I'm not one of those people. Our society will never suffer because it's educated. Whether it's educated through trade, general education, it doesn't matter. We need educated people. I think of my friend Dan, who's a master electrician. He's so smart. And my friend Ross, he's an engineer. He's so smart. And then my friend Nick, who's an attorney. Oh my gosh, he's so smart. My sister, she's never gone to college, but she's so smart. The stuff she does is so smart. She can learn anything. And then there's my brother. He's never been to college either, but he's smart. He actually built a computer. He literally built a computer when he was 20 from scratch. My father started paying to take classes to learn computers and things like that because he just wanted to learn them. And he had to stop because he couldn't afford it. And that's always bugged me because I don't understand how come we can figure out how to do so many things with our taxes, but we can't figure out how to educate people who want an education. And before people start talking to me about this being a socialist idea and everything else, stop. If somebody is willing to go and learn how to be a pipe fitter, or how to be an electrician, or how to be a doctor, I would rather pay for that as a taxpayer. I think we're at the point now where the government should start looking at ways to use technology to help people become more educated. You know, the idea of educating Americans after high school for free is something that people have really fought against. And I kind of want to talk about it because this is something that, as a congressional representative, I'm not against. And I want to talk about how I think it can be accomplished. We have the Department of Education, and I don't want to see it dissolved. I want to see it reimagined. It can be reimagined so easily because we can utilize that structure now to develop online learning centers for people who want higher education and for tech education, for people who can get credit that can be transferred to universities and tech schools. For example, we could have vetted university programs on the Department of Education website. People go online, they take them, they get credit for them, and those transfer over to a university, to a college, to a tech school, and the student gets credit for them. And that's credits that they don't have to pay for. So let's say that university charges $200 a credit, and you take those 3 credits and it's free, it transfers over, that's $600 that you saved. And you don't have to pay it, and it automatically transfers. And people can start taking that and saving them on their tuition. And we can start doing things right now like that. And people can start taking that and bank those so that when they want to go back to college, when they want to go to college, they want to get their degree, they have these bankable credits so they can walk over to universities, find out what they can use to get a degree. And it helps them. And if they don't ever want a degree, it doesn't matter. They still have these credits. And it matters. It means something. America starts educating people for free, and it doesn't cost us that much. We don't need a building. We have the technology. We have the students and the desire to learn. It's the 250th anniversary of America. We are the best in the world, but we lack in education. We can show the world how to educate an entire country. It's easy. It really is. We have the technology. We're America. We can do anything. I want people to imagine this for a second. What it would be like to be able to be home and think, I want to learn how to be an electrician, and go online and start learning the basics and then learn more. And then one day you're a master electrician because you went to the United States Department of Education website, university, and you started learning. This is something I want to go to Congress with, and I want to start implementing. I want 250 to be the change. There are so many things I want to change in America because I think we're stagnant. When a body of water gets stagnant, it starts to smell and it gets rotten and it goes bad. It has to keep moving. It has to pour out and new water has to come in to keep it fresh. We are Americans. We're innovators. We're used to the stream moving, not to it being stagnant. Our minds are always going. We need to keep moving forward. We need to keep building. We need to keep expanding. The United States of America Department of Education University is the logical next step to move America forward. Everybody else is surpassing us in education. We can't let that happen. We're too smart for that. So, whether you elect me to Congress or not, one of the things I want us to start moving forward on is at least get that conversation going. Here's the thing about my campaign. As much as I would love to get elected, I would rather not get elected and have my ideas move forward than get elected and not do a doggone thing in Congress. So if we can move my ideas forward, then let's move my ideas forward. And by the way, I got a lot of ideas. Stay tuned.